Hello, everybody. Welcome to Center Zero, a podcast that, for us that are alt-center, maybe we don't agree on where the alt-left, alt-right, even the left, even the right. Personally, I'm very center-leaning, but I have two of my friends with me. I have Missy and Stu. Missy, you took the test. Where did you fall into the category?
Of what?
The political compass test. Weren't you fairly center?
I don't know. I used the damn example.
Okay. He used the example. Stu, where did you fall in the political test?
I actually was a little bit on the left.
I need your help to catch Pendant's spies.
Down.
Okay, so we have Missy, who couldn't even figure out how to take the test, and me and Sean seem to fall into the category of a little bit left-leaning.
Wait a minute here. I took the test.
Old one.
Well, you did take the test, but you didn't give us the...
No, I didn't. I didn't read the whole book.
You didn't read the whole book. So our podcasts are mostly just going to be us talking about the issue of the day, which will probably be multiple issues of the day. And if you're watching this live, you'll be also watching us play a variety of video games. Today we are playing Neverwinter. So today's episode we are going to talk about is gun control. To date this episode, last night there was a shooting in Las Vegas. Does shooting sound like a fair explanation of what happened?
We can't call it a terrorist attack?
If you want to call it a terrorist attack, you can call it a terrorist attack. I call it a shooting. Sean? Stu?
It was a mass shooting.
Okay.
Isn't the worst modern day mass shooting?
Yes.
Well, the media has still not reported how many people were actually killed by the shooter or killed by the stampede. I think that's those numbers in the next couple days.
I don't think we even have a number of people shot.
Correct. Okay. Last I saw, there was somewhere between 50 to 58 people dead.
Now they're reporting 59.
They're reporting 59.
I guess
Okay.
you should just stay away from country music concerts.
Well, I do find it interesting that it was a country music concert in the middle of a city. Maybe country music shouldn't be played in cities.
Well, at least modern country. What's that? Pop country? Nah. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it was pretty much pop country.
Is that Jason now? Is he the one that did that America?
No.
Okay.
I don't listen to that, so I couldn't tell you what song is popular right now. I know that last year he sang some song for the playoffs for the NASCAR, but that's about as much as I know. So Vegas, we know it's not a gun-free zone, or at least the state isn't gun-free. It's very gun-friendly. So he supposedly had 18 guns in his hotel room.
Whoa, it went up?
Yeah, the numbers keep changing.
Last I heard it was 14.
Those things multiply like rabbits.
Yeah, I mean, it is the media, and it is depending on which one you're listening to and how they choose to spin it. I mean, by the end of the day, he'll have a, entire arsenal, and there'll be a tank in there,
This ain't no gun control issue.
Well, it is a gun control issue.
Well, it depends on what you mean by gun control. Like the state trying to control your rights, or
I mean,
you controlling the gun.
you can't fix crazy, and the problem is that he showed no signs of crazy.
Well, to our knowledge, he didn't show any signs of crazy. He might have shown signs of crazy, and it was just missed.
But aren't we all crazy?
Depends on who's diagnosing you. That's the problem with just generally saying crazy can't have guns.
I think you should be issued a gun with your driver's license.
I will use nature's power to
Well,
restore them.
Wow.
My personal belief with guns is that everybody, if you live in this country, should have to have some type of firearm training, and that should have been offered to you while you were in public high school.
I mean, unfortunately, this incident isn't like the typical shootings. This guy was purged under 36 hours, so even your law-abiding concealed carry person there's nothing they can do about it.
Are we gonna pretend that this was one guy? Because did you watch the videos? The muzzle flashes were not, and I say muzzle flashes, but that's plural. We're not in the 32nd floor.
Yeah, we'll get
third floor.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's get to that in just a minute, because that's a whole different can of worms to open up. Let's finish up with this gun control, what rights you have and what rights you don't have, and how to fix the problem. Like, here's the reason I think that gun education, even forgetting about the concealed carry and all that kind of stuff, I think that if you have been around a gun, or you have had some type of something that's going to take the fear away of guns, then people could have made better choices instead of hearing guns and panicking. Where if there was some of these people had some type of gun background, maybe they could understand that what kind of gun it was, or at least put it into a category of rifle, handgun.
I think it should be a mandatory credit issue in high school.
Yeah.
Just like driving. Well, I guess driving is no longer mandatory.
Well, I don't think it hurts, and then it gets people that maybe want to join the military. They have a better, firm understanding of guns, and somebody that maybe's grown up with a fear because maybe they're a city. They've grown up in the suburbs, and they have a fear of guns.
The only gun training you get in high school is if you join the ROTC.
I had no gun training. I was in ROTC for 4 years. I had no gun training. We went to a simulator.
Really?
We went to a simulator if we wanted to, but that was not, by no means was that mandatory. I chose to do that because, I mean, we had a simulated gun range around, and it was just really fun, and I got to shoot some pretty awesome stuff.
So would you be opposed to arms classes in high school?
No, I think I think the more, because you can do all this with simulators now, that you can simulate everything from the sound to the feel to even how the weapon discharges. You can do all that with simulators, and the whole experience would feel real, and now these people don't have so much of a fear.
So you're opposed to hands-on training?
No, I'm not. Deal. I'm not opposed to hands-on training, but if a district would say it's too expensive for the hands-on training or it's too dangerous, then you could easily counter that with saying, well, there's simulators out there that we can do it with instead. You know, because it might be a hard sell to an inner-city school in Oakland to say, hey, we need to keep a storage room with live ammo. That might be a hard sell. But, you know, if you had a room that they could go to so they could learn, proper gunsmanship, and it was on a simulator that was not harmful and nothing could be stolen and hurt anybody, then what excuse could they use?
Now, do you think introducing gunsmith or gun classes in high school will open up doors to more shootings?
How? I think it would open up I think it would open up less shooting, especially in inner cities where you've got gangbangers that are just going to drive around and do drive-bys. Drive-bys are expensive if you really think about it. If those people could instead shoot with more precision, instead of killing a bunch of innocent people, they could just kill the person that they've been trying to kill, which I know that sounds horrible, but what it would do is then the person that they're trying to kill would die, and the innocent people, the innocent bystanders' life would be spared.
Fair enough.
Stu, what's your opinion on what I'm saying?
I see if the majority of people walk around with guns, crime rates go down.
I agree.
I've discovered something. Yes.
See, I'm not.
I think you are someone I can trust with this.
It's an interesting theory. I like that theory. I just don't exactly know if it's true.
It's gonna reduce person to person.
They seek out powerful artifacts to give them the edge they need to destroy their enemies.
It's not gonna reduce.
Some of the Zolaran spies in Neverland have learned of
the iPhone store at midnight, or drive your truck into the convenience store and knock out the ATM. I'm not gonna stop into that, but
I can see rape being declined.
Your heads-up robbery at places, strong-arm robbery, yeah. People aren't gonna be pulling their guns out. They know everybody else is walking around with one.
Now, so do you think rape could get worse in particular areas if people chose not to carry guns?
No.
Okay.
No. If it's a known rule that it's an open carry, anyone can carry, like here in Montana, anyone can carry a gun.
Well, yeah, like I mean, here in West Virginia, it's open. I mean, you can carry a gun completely open. You don't need a permit or anything. It's Wild West, and it hasn't. And it's been like that for about 2 years now, and it hasn't. There's been no increase in.
The only restrictions we have
kills.
here are federal restrictions. That's it. You have to pass an FBI background check, and you get your gun the same day, which is weird to me because originally I'm from California, and if you register for a gun, you have to wait 14 days or something like that to get your weapon.
Not too quick out there in California. They can't run the background check in a day.
No, they say it's because that prevents you from hot-headedness. You come in wanting to buy a gun in a hurry because you want to beat your piss off.
Isn't there a 3-day federal waiting period on handguns?
No, you can walk into a store right now, buy one, and walk right back out with it.
I don't know what West Virginia's background check is.
I was surprised because when I bought my 45, I walked into the store. I was expecting to wait a week or two, and he just brought out the case and said, "Here you go. Your total's this."
Okay, so in West Virginia, if you're getting it from an authorized dealer, they have to do a federal background check. But if you're buying it from a private individual, there's no background check required. So I could.
Yeah, and here there's nobody even. I mean, I can go to my next door neighbor and buy a gun and don't have to worry about paperwork or anything like that. Bad thing is if that gun comes back to you, or it comes back as a murder weapon or something, you will probably go to jail for it. I don't have to report it. I can buy a gun or sell a gun and don't have to report it. The only thing I do have to report is if I modify a gun.
Okay. I don't know the gun laws in West Virginia enough to be able to speak freely about it. I just know they're very lax in this state.
And I think the only reason why my particular part of the state has the crime it does is because it's a college town, and these new kids these days are so scared to carry guns. And that, and the universities put policies out of no weapons on campus. So that's why Missoula's crime rate is up. That's what I think. If there was no university, there would be hardly any crime.
Yeah, we're gonna have crime. I'm gonna have lots of crime in my state because we still have so many people addicted to opiates. Okay, so
once you get out of Missoula, your crime rate drops.
Trade blue fire insignia.
Once you get out of Missoula, is there even people?
Hope you're here to help.
Wait,
the folks topside don't like dealing with us much for fear of catching the plague.
I mean,
we only really get supplies.
And the people that are left,
recruits.
Are they like? Aren't they on
we
fire?
Have to scavenge from buildings here in the
put it this way: 300 people.
We're running short on weapons and supplies
guns.
to arm our soldiers. Real soon, we'll be using rocks, sticks, and harsh language. You look pretty well armed. You think you can help? Head into the broken barracks to the northwest and recover whatever weapons and supplies you can find.
Okay, so let's go back to the Vegas. Let's go back to the Vegas shooting. What was his name? Stephen Paddock, I think is his name. Stephen Craig Paddock is what they're reporting his name to be. So you were saying that you saw that you were seeing reports that there was possible.
There's a video on Live Leak right now that the whole video actually focuses on the hotel.
Okay.
And if you watch it and you slow-mo it, frame by frame, you don't see any muzzle flashes up on the 30th floor. You do see muzzle flashes up down by first, second, third, fourth floor.
Okay.
And there's more than one muzzle flash.
If you send that to me, I'll repost it on our Twitter. Which those that are listening, our Twitter is Center0. Center is spelled C-E-N-T-R-E 0 at Twitter. And because I also have a video that sounds like multiple gunshots. Like multiple people shooting, I should say. I think I sent that one to Stu, or he saw it on my Twitter, one of the two. Personally, I think that this is... I'm reluctant to say false flag because when I say false flag, it gets misconstrued by so many people. But I'm gonna say that it was MK Ultra involved. Pretty sure you know what MK Ultra is, Stu. Missy, do you know what MK Ultra is?
Nope.
Okay, MK Ultra is it's a declassified government program that the CIA and FBI, they use things like LSD and other drugs of that category to manipulate people somewhere in the United States, somewhere in other countries, to convince them to do things. So you'd have to actually, if you get on and you use anything but Wikipedia and you read some stuff about MK Ultra, you can read all about the things that they used it for. Now they said that they ended the program, but you know, we know that when the government says they end a program, it just means that
they just concealed it more.
Yeah, they're just concealing it more. That means they found a better way to do it without telling anybody. And the reason I say that is because the dude has no history whatsoever of really anything.
Any extremism.
Yeah, yeah.
Violent past or to date, and we're not even 24 hours in, so a lot of the focus is.
I mean, the closest I heard is I guess he was seen at an Antifa rally, but that's not confirmed, but that's the absolute closest.
There's a picture of a guy that looks similar to him.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean anything, He could have had Alex Jones on the radio, and that doesn't mean anything either. It's just interesting that there is no history, and then when they interviewed his brother, and if you haven't watched that interview, that's just bizarre. His brother acts very shocked. The key phrase that got me is his brother, 2 times in the story, when he was talking with the media, talked about how that he used to bring their mom cookies, and that his wife used to bake and mail cookies, and it just was a very odd thing to say when you're giving an interview about your brother who just killed a bunch of people. So I think that there's something fishy or odd with those statements. And I'm not sure if you watched any of the media coverage. I watched a little bit of it because, unfortunately,
I heard him last night. He was doing the same thing.
Unfortunately, my TV's always on because my parents listen to way too much TV. The story was like exactly the same, even when you switch to different networks. They were saying almost the exact same words, and showing the exact same pictures, almost in the same order. It was really bizarre. Felt very scripted.
I think I sent that video to you.
What I'm interested in the next couple days, what we find out, as we find out more, and then compare it to what we know today, and see how the story changes. And then you have to figure out what source you're getting it from. So, do you guys think that this is going to... Because, we are actually not very far from midterm elections. Do you think that this is going to... think they're going to try to influence any elections with this?
Well, they always do.
Well, that's dead air.
Do you think it'll be successful anywhere? Places like...
Overall, no.
Yeah, I think California, and especially something with some of this immigration crap that's been going on, I think they're kind of looking for anything that they possibly can to just try to shake things up. And I don't even know, like, at this particular point, because of how crazy politics are now, I don't even know which side would want to shake things up more. I could actually see the GOP figuring out a way, saying, maybe we do need to do some type of gun control. I don't see the Democrats necessarily saying we don't need gun control, but
no Smiths, no these goblins. There were still projects ongoing in Prospector's Ridge when the goblins attacked. The soldiers fought bravely, but had to retreat and couldn't protect all of the workers there. I've overheard scouts reporting to Baldwin, and they say many workers are being held captive.
Did you think that this is going to try to trigger
Soldiers.
any copycats?
So how will it help the war effort to risk your life to free them, right? The soldiers need weapons. The walls need to be maintained. The catapults need to be repaired. Trust me, having good workers is every bit as important as having good soldiers. You bring those workers back, and our chances improve.
Copycats after the Pulse shooting.
Was there copycats after Columbine?
Unless he was the copycat.
Well, yesterday was a weird day in general. There was the stuff happening in Spain with Catalina, where they wanted to vote to their independence, and they had the police fighting the firefighters because the firefighters were protecting the people's right to vote, and the police were going in and stealing ballots. There was some terrorist activity in Sweden. I didn't see a whole lot about it. It was a little bleep story that I came across. And then, didn't something happen in France?
Yes, in Edmonton.
Okay. So, yesterday was just a day full of crazies. So personally, sometimes I don't even know.
Watch that video, Fly, and you tell me what you see.
The one you were talking about?
Yeah, I sent it.
I'll watch it in just a second. Was it, like, is it a cell phone, like, recorded video?
Well, yeah.
Well, no, I didn't know if it was cell phone or surveillance cameras, because sometimes, because this was a hotel and things of that sort, sometimes stuff can get caught on surveillance cameras.
It could be surveillance. Nope, it's cell phone.
Okay.
So yeah, watch that video, chance. And this is after the initial shooting. This is when the shooting kept going. It was like a earthquake effect, you know, aftershocks.
Mm-hmm.
Like your first spurt. Sound like to me it was more than one person.
Well, this is one of those times that Periscope is very interesting, because I've watched a couple bizarre videos on Periscope that people were filming live and such. Okay, let me watch this video. Which I'll make sure I add this video into the feed.
They might end up taking it down.
What'd you say?
They might end up taking it down.
If they take it out, I might just rip it off the net then. If you think they're gonna take it down. Do they normally take things down off Live Leak? Yeah, that was a lot of gunshots. Now, I can't, was he in the Mana, whatever that hotel, or was he in the Lux?
No, he wasn't in the Lux.
Oh, so just to add a little bit of fun conspiracy onto it, I like the fact that he was on the 32nd floor, and in some of the pictures there's a giant, because it's dark outside, there's a giant black pyramid in the background. And if you know anything about the Freemasons, on the 32nd degree, their main symbol is a black pyramid.
Wow.
That's always
only you would actually pick that out.
I love conspiracies. I love me a good conspiracy, so I like to look into all that stuff. Let me post this up on the Twitter. Helps if I spell. So is there anything else? Since seems like we're running low on the subject. Anything else about gun control or the Las Vegas shooting that either of you think's important?
It'll be interesting to see some more facts after they have another day of looking at it. See how much the story changes from the original, or if it does change.
So let's recap the original story so that we can, if we ever decide we want to readdress this, we can. So the original story that I've heard is that we have a lone gunman,
retired accountant, professional gambler, semi-professional gambler.
Yeah, who's lived in Florida. It looks like Florida and Nevada, and maybe over the border of California, but that's still Nevada. I haven't confirmed if that Hispanic woman that he's with is his wife or just his girlfriend.
I believe they say girlfriend at the moment, and apparently she was out of the country.
Okay.
During the shooting.
Okay. First reports where she was out of the country, because didn't they find her car or something present there?
I think they found a couple cars of his at the hotel, possibly.
Okay. So he's spent some time at this hotel. I've heard a week or so been in this hotel room. I did also hear he's had a run-in with hotels before, like 5 or 6 years ago. He sued a hotel in Vegas. Did you hear that?
No, I did not see that one.
Something about how he was mistreated. I also heard he is a pilot and owns 2 airplanes.
Yeah, I saw that too. And he was well off.
Yeah. So he was he wasn't a poor individual. And he was, what'd they say, 64?
60 something.
Yeah, something in that range. In the 64 range. So, and we have no motive of why he would shoot a bunch of people at a country music concert in Vegas.
No, he just apparently perched up on this 32nd floor and busted out the windows on the hotel to shoot.
Oh, he was, and they say he was, the official report is he was killed by a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but if you listen to the police scanners, it could have been the percussion from blowing open his door. Which, I'm just curious why they didn't use a key card, but, you know, whatever. More excitement to just blow the door open. It's the police. I'm surprised there wasn't attack helicopters outside his window.
Yeah, you know, some die-hard action.
And ISIS did take credit for it, but that's ISIS taking credit for anything that they can possibly take credit for. Everything that I've read, he has zero connection with ISIS.
Eyewitness accounts on the ground claim possible multiple shooters from different floors of the hotel. Along with the crazy lady that they thought might have been his girlfriend that was running through the crowd and had to get kicked out saying, "You're all gonna die."
What?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear
Did you hear
Wow.
about that?
No.
Yeah.
That's...
About a half an hour before the shooting, they said a Hispanic lady was running through the crowd, and she stopped at a few people and told them that to get out, they're gonna die. And interestingly enough, one of the couples, it was her 21st birthday, and I watched an interview on I think Facebook or something, that she said, you know, her and her boyfriend said, the concert's boring anyways, and might as well listen to this woman. So they left, and they were in the bar when, I think it was an outside bar or something. They were at the bar when the shooting started, and just thought it was crazy that this crazy lady came up to them and told them that, and she was correct. So that's an interesting twist onto the story.
Wrap it.
So, everyone, if you've watched this live, thank you for watching and listening. We plan on doing this weekly. I'm not sure the exact day we're going to pick yet, but we're going to do this weekly. Every week we're going to have a different subject matter, but as you heard in this one, we kind of jumped around a little bit. But we're going to start off with an interesting subject matter. It'll be in the title of the podcast. We are Center Zero. You can find us on Twitter, YouTube, most of the social media stuff. I'm Fly. We have Missy, who lives in Montana, and we have Stu. And we all, have you heard, all have unique, different opinions. So we'd like to hear what you think about this. So hit us up on Twitter. Tell us what you think, and we will see you next week.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Damn thing won't let me turn it off.